Hello friends, I welcome you in lecture number 15 on roots of equations. In this lecture we are going to understand fixed point iteration method. We will see that how this method works in finding root of a given nonlinear equation. Before discussing this method, first we understand the meaning of this fixed point. So suppose we are given some function, say f of x, then some real number p is called fixed point of this function f if value of function at this point p is equal to that point itself. If f of p equal to p, then this p is called fixed point of the function f. For example, if I take this fx equal to say sin x, then number p is fixed point of fx if f of p equal to p, that is by definition, and our function is sin x. So fx is sin x, therefore f of p becomes sin p. That means you have to search for that number p for which sin p equal to p, and obviously that number is 0. If we take p equal to 0, then we know that sin 0 equal to 0. That means f of 0 equal to 0. Therefore 0 is fixed point of the function sin x. So that is the idea of fixed point. Now what is the idea of the method fixed point iteration method? So in fixed point iteration method, first we have to rearrange or rewrite given equation. Suppose we denote given equation fx equal to 0 by number 1. Then by rearrange this equation number 1 in such a way that it can be written in this form: x equal to some function of x, say g of x. That is, we are rewriting equivalent form of this equation, and that is required in this form: x equal to g of x, where g of x is another function of x, and we will call this function as iterative function. So this is the main step or starting step, that rearrange your equation in such a way that it can be written in this form. For example, suppose I have this function x cube plus x square minus 1 equal to say 0. Then this I can rewrite in this form by rearranging. For example, suppose I take x square common from these two terms, then here I am left with x plus 1, and this I can take on right hand side. Therefore I can rewrite this as x plus 1 equal to 1 divided by x square. Therefore x equal to 1 divided by x square minus 1, or I can rewrite this as 1 minus x square divided by x square, and in this case this is my g of x. So here I obtain that gx is 1 minus x square by x square. You can rearrange in another way also. Suppose you are writing this in this form, I can rewrite in this way also. I keep x square here and I transfer x cube and minus 1 on right hand side. So I will have 1 minus x cube. That means x equal to square root of 1 minus x cube. We are considering positive square root. So if I rearrange in this way, I will get another gx, that is gx equal to square root of 1 minus x cube. So in this way you can rewrite your equation in such a way that it can be converted in this form: x equal to some function of x. Now once we can do this, suppose I have written my equation fx equal to 0 in this form, this is number 2. So after doing this, suppose we assume that x0 is the initial guess to the actual root. We select x0 as the initial guess to the actual root. Then using this we can find out x1. We will consider x1 equal to g of x0. We will put x0 on the right hand side and value of g at x0 will be taken as first approximation. Similarly, to find out x2, we find out value of g at point x1. Then to find out x3, value of g at x2 is required. So in general, we are getting a sequence given by xn plus 1 equal to g of xn and starting with n equal to 0. For n equal to 0, we will have x0 that we will select as the initial guess or initial approximation to the root. So this is the idea of the method. First we rewrite our equation fx equal to 0 by rearranging in this form, and then we start with assumption of initial guess and we obtain x1 by evaluating function g at x0. x2 is evaluate g at x1. So we are constructing a sequence of iterations given by xn plus 1 equal to g of xn. So this sequence must converge to the actual root if we have properly selected this function gx. You can see I have several ways of rewriting given equation in the form x equal to gx. So we can have more than one gx, that is iterative functions. So out of those more than one iterative functions, we have to check or we have to determine that for which gx or for which iterative function this sequence of iterations will converge to the actual root, or under what conditions this sequence of iterations will be convergent to the actual root. Similarly, we have to find out that if this sequence converges, then this root will lie in which interval. We also have to determine the interval in which exact root, say alpha, of the given equation lies, and our iterative function g will be defined on that interval. We have to select the interval on which this iterative function g is defined, and that interval must contain the actual root, and on that interval, in that interval we will select our initial guess. So there is no general method for selecting that interval, but as we are doing in previous methods, we can find out two values of a and b for which function is of opposite signs, and we can consider that interval as the interval containing the root, and we will select our initial guess in this interval, and because of this exact rule will always lie in this interval. So try to select this small interval containing the exact root by finding the endpoints of the interval in such a way that function is of opposite signs at those 2 points. Now another main concern is that under which conditions on the iterative function gx this sequence of iterations will converge to the exact root. Now we have sequence of iterations denoted by xn. So under which conditions this sequence will converge to the exact root alpha. So that condition is in this form. First we require that our function g is selected, is defined from close interval ab to close interval ab, and this interval is selected in this way. We will find out two values of function which are of opposite signs, and the points at which these two values are of opposite signs, these 2 points will construct the interval. So the iterative function g must be continuous on this interval. Second requirement is, if I take any x in this interval, then value of gx must also remain in this same interval. In other words, the iterative function g maps this interval into itself, that is g of ab, that is range of ab, is always subset of the domain of iterative function g, and the function g must be differentiable on this interval. And if we take absolute value of first derivative of g, that is absolute value of g dash x, must be less than 1 for every x in this interval. If absolute value of the first derivative of iterative function is less than 1 for every x in this interval, and another conditions are g is continuous on this interval. First requirement is continuity. Second requirement is, if x belongs to AB, gx belongs to AB for every x in the closed interval AB, that is g maps closed interval AB into itself. And if g dash x exists, then absolute value of g dash x is less than 1 for every x belongs to AB. So if these three criteria are satisfied, then this sequence of iterations generated by iterative function g will always converge to the actual root alpha. So whenever we are solving the problems related to this fixed point iteration method, what we will do is, first we will rewrite our equation fx equal to 0 in the form x equal to g of x, and these two are equivalent. That means if we solve equation 2, then solution of equation 2 is also a solution of equation 1. Now solution of equation 2 is the number p such that p equal to g of p, and we know that the number p which satisfies p equal to g of p is called fixed point of function g. So the solution of equation 2 is nothing but fixed point of equation g. In other words, fixed point of function g is solution of the equation fx equal to 0. Therefore, this method is known as fixed point iteration method. So first step is to write given equation fx equal to 0 in this form x equal to gx, and as we have discussed, there can be more than one choices for gx. So how to select proper gx in such a way that this sequence of iterations defined as xn plus 1 equal to g of xn will converge to the actual root. So for that, first we have to determine the interval AB, and this interval can be determined by evaluating function f at certain points and find those points a and b for which this function is of opposite signs, that is f of a into f of b is less than 0. Now after selecting the interval in this way, we will check that this condition is satisfied, that is value of gx also lies in closed interval AB for every x in closed interval AB. We also require that function g is continuous on closed interval AB, and main thing is absolute value of first derivative of g is strictly less than 1 for every x in this closed interval AB. So if our iterative function satisfies these three conditions on closed interval AB, then this sequence of iterations will converge to the actual root alpha for any initial choice or any initial choice of root in closed interval AB. So we will take care of these things when we are solving the problems using fixed point iteration method. So I have summarized all these things in this result or theorem. Suppose we are able to rewrite our function, our equation in the form x equal to gx. We are interested in solving the equation fx equal to 0 that we have written equivalently in this form x equal to gx. And suppose this function g is continuous on closed interval AB. This interval can be selected by finding 2 points A and B for which function is of opposite signs. So this iterative function g must be continuous on closed interval AB, and we require that value of gx belongs to this interval AB for all x belongs to AB. This means g maps closed interval AB into itself. If we apply g on this set, then images are always in this set. That is the meaning of this statement. Gx belongs to closed interval AB for all x belongs to closed interval AB. Now furthermore, suppose that first derivative of g exists on open interval AB and there exists a constant denoted by k which is in between 0 and 1 such that absolute value of first derivative of g is less than or equal to k, and because k is less than 1, absolute value of g dash is less than 1 for all x belongs to AB. Then for any initial guess x0 in this interval, the sequence defined by xn plus 1 equal to g of xn converges to the unique fixed point alpha of g, or converges to the solution alpha of the equation x equal to gx. The solution of this equation x equal to gx is nothing but fixed point of g, therefore they have written in this way. So we will remember this result and we will remember these conditions for iterative function. If iterative function is selected in such a way that it satisfies these conditions, then our sequence defined by xn plus 1 equal to g of xn will converge to the actual root alpha. So in this lecture we have discussed about fixed point iteration method, and in the next lecture we will discuss problems on fixed point iteration methods. So this is all about this session. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching.